Welcome everyone, and welcome in this already third session of our webinar series launched in the scope of the CEV School project. And thank you again for dedicating time to join us in that webinar initiative. So today we will have the presentation of Nicolas Sauvré from France. Just a brief introduction. Nicolas is a technical director in the French Federation, French Volleyball Federation, and also responsible for education of the coaches there. And he's also one of the experts that we initially appointed for the coaches convention, which was supposed to be held last weekend in Kranjska Gora, Slovenia. So 2 weeks ago, we had Christophe Delouse addressing technical aspects of the entry level of volleyball and how to be more creative with the new exercises. And last week we had the chance to have with us Andrea Gerich introducing the psychological side of psychological aspect and how to address the kids, how to work with the kids, what is happening in their heads, etc. This week Nicolas is going to bring us back to the more technical aspect of the game, and in particular he will address how to adapt your lessons and exercises in order to make volleyball a sport more accessible and enjoyable for everyone and for the kids. As usual, the session will be recorded, so you know that we have a recording which will be available afterwards. Nicolas will show us also some videos. I shared yesterday with you the links to the YouTube videos. So in case we have some problems with the connection, you know that you can watch those videos on your laptop or maybe on your phone if you have the links. Please keep your microphones muted during the session, and in case you have questions for Nicolas, you know how it works. We invite you to type the questions in the chat box, and then he will answer the question at the end of the session, or you can keep your questions and ask yourself at the end of the session. So with this being said, Nicolas, the floor is yours.
Okay, see you later.
See you after.
Hello everybody, thank you for welcoming me, and François and Luc, thank you too for a small place to talk about volleyball and how to enjoy the sport. Okay, volleyball is a sport to enjoy. My presentation will be separated into 4 parts. A quick and general presentation and introducing myself. A presentation of an experience I've led with my staff some years ago, on our problems with volleyball and our reflection basis. And after this, what's happening on court really, and the results. So the title of this presentation, I could have chosen Play Differently to Get Pleasure, to link with Andrea Gerich. So we are used to hear that volleyball is hard to learn. It could be right, but only if you are not on the right way. Usually when you say something is difficult, you can be quite sure there is no pleasure. So maybe it will be difficult for me to explain everything, but we try to enjoy this moment together. All right, volleyball has changed a lot. Everybody knows that. And the way I train at the beginning of my career and now is different. So does volleyball has changed? The way of playing, yes, you could say yes. But the heart of activity can say no. I also have noticed along my career that beginners are doing same errors regardless of ages. For example, placement in relation to the ball, and consequences when playing the ball, problems to join movement to the ball and playing the ball. So why? Because the most important thing for a beginner is the ball, not what could be observed or done before playing. The only one difference between an older player and a younger is that the older has much more motor tools to man his problems. But for a good coach, the most important thing is what the player is doing before touching the ball. In fact, in volleyball, we have 12 players, only one ball. So there is much more movement than contact with the ball. On that way, we could conclude that the activity is responsible for these problems and not the player who are coming with their skills and defaults. So is volleyball a difficult practice? I said the heart of activity hasn't changed. All the problem for me is to define what means heart of the activity. So we will talk about this further. And for many years, and still now, we're considering that volleyball is only a challenge, an opposition between attack and defense, serve and reception. And players have to manage with this. So it's not true, but if you consider only this, for me, it means you haven't spent time to analyze your players' characteristics and their difficulties. And there is no more issue. All players, whatever their level, need to play or to learn just like the others. So you are 18 years old, 10 years old, 30 years old, it's the same. To me, it's a great error. So to be a difficult practice, for me, you will see that it is not. So for a better understanding, I'm 52 years old, married, 2 children, 1 boy, 1 girl. I'm playing volleyball since 1984. I stopped played after my study in 1993 because I was not really satisfied by the way I was working with my trainer. And I began to train in 1986 on girls under 19, under 17. And I've been in charge of under 15 and under 13 female training center. I'm working for the French Federation. So I've been in charge of a national detection and under 16 national team until 2000. Director and head coach of a female training center. And now national director for coaches. So where I'm living, this is where I study in the east of France, and this is where I'm living in the center of France. So now I work in Paris, but I live here, and I began to work in the center of France. And you will understand why I've worked in a certain way. So where I'm living, a lot of volcanoes, wonderful. Winter, Vuk, you know this. So snow, mountains, lake, wonderful, but in winter, very hard to drive. A famous rugby team, famous cheese. But volleyball is here. So very, very difficult to play volleyball where I'm living. So I will try to tell you how I've built with my staff an original way to enter in volleyball and to stay in volleyball for young players, very young players, between 6 to 10. And we've called this. So when we begin to work, we have to ask some question. Because of a specific professional environment, we ask us some basic questions. Why young players doesn't easily come to volleyball and keep playing volleyball. Another one is how to get new players, how to make them playing earlier without being bored, how to help trainers to work better, how to change the common point of view on volleyball, and where are the breaks. And the answers for us has been, there is no break. The only way volleyball could be thought or practiced, and the fear to put one step beside to come later. That could be a break. Volleyball, we are considering that volleyball has in its DNA all failure factors for beginners, and moreover for young players. So we couldn't change our players. And as I said, volleyball was responsible of failure. So we've decided to change a little bit the activity. So it was easy to say, not so easy to do. And all our work has been focused on how to adapt volleyball without losing the heart. All right, so there is a court, small court, 6 players under 9. Everywhere on Volleyball Planet, the most popular adaptation have been to shorten sizes of court and to lower the net. The third one is to decrease numbers of players on the court. But if you do this, you don't change the way to play. So I didn't really succeed to put my video here, but I wrote it. So let's take the example of these 6 players. Let's take number 1 here on the left. So 1 serves, first serve, ace. Second serve, ace. Third serve on number 5. Number 5, touch the ball, fourth. New serve for 1, fourth. Okay, let's turn. Number 5. There's a ball. He serves, fourth. Let's turn. Number 3 is going to serve. Ace. Serves on 5. 5 get back directly, point. Okay. So 7 balls have been played. 3 different servers, number 1, number 5, number 3. But number 2, number 4, number 6 haven't touched the ball. There is no rally, only aces or fourth. And 6 substitutes who are waiting beside the court. They would like to play, but they're not strong enough. So tell me why you can say the 6 players here are not strong enough if with these 3 players, the 6 players, only 3 have touched the ball. So you can say if these substitutes are strong enough or not, or very strong or not strong enough to play. So is that volleyball? You can say yes, there are players, there is net, there is court, there is 1 ball, there is substitutes, there is coaches, same rules, but there is no game, no movement. It's an activity very poor, and there is no mean for the players here and no mean for the players beside. No motivation. So even if you change the size of court or the height of net, you don't change anything with the game. So I said DNA volleyball has all the factors for failure. And it's a little bit in opposition with children characteristic. So in volleyball, I cannot catch a ball or move with it. But if you do this with children, there's too much breaking during rallies, and it's the worst thing. You cannot touch the ball twice, and you cannot bounce it. But for children, they are building their abilities. So for them, it's hard to send a ball without catching it. It's hard to move on different directions. It's hard to read trajectories. In volleyball, the target is not a basket or a goal, but the ground over the net. But for children, looking for the ball and around, and moreover over the net, is not very easy. And playing the ball and saying to children, win, 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 they can do both. So the first thing they are doing is playing the ball. In volleyball, you know, for playing the ball is very specific. And it's the origin of a lot of failures. But for children, we need to praise the game continuity and rallies. So there is an opposition. Sorry. Right. There is an opposition between volleyball and what could do children. Children have, however, some other characteristics. So they are focused on their own activity and building their socialization. They are building their analysis, reasoning, and judgment on themselves and others. They've got a limited attention capacity. They've got high and flexible learning abilities. They are sensitive to playful stimulation to the result of their own action. They are very active. So to enjoy playing volleyball, you had to add a new sequence in the volleyball DNA. So if you go that way, put volleyball over the child, it's not the wrong way. If you go the green way, okay, you have children and you drive us over the bridge, drive them over the bridge to get volleyball. So if you go that way, you can play a certain type of volleyball. It's not really the same volleyball as older player, but there is essential movements, principles, logic that will lead me to volleyball. So I need to explain it. Our basic reflection has been set on 5 key sentences. So you don't learn how to play volleyball without playing volleyball. You don't learn anything if you do nothing. You learn badly or nothing if you don't have the willingness to learn. For a better sport learning, you need basic motor skills. The best they are, the better it is. And a child can't awake his motor abilities through the very specific practice of volleyball. And 6 key sectors. So to create, to reinforce basic motor alphabet, integrate specific skills, so balance, laterality, observation, decentralization, anticipation, reading trajectories, deciding to move and how to move, having an intention, only all this to play. So we are considering the child before volleyball, and the way the children will play must give them sense and pleasure. So we have to enhance child through an easy way of playing, give them taste for effort and intensity, because there is no progress without intensity. And we have to facilitate work for trainers. And very important, technical learning is not a priority at all. That's very important. So several other keywords for us. No matter my level, I like to win, but defeat doesn't matter. I like to play and I want to play. I play against player with the same level. I learn different rules. I learn different abilities which will serve now and later. I learned different roles and responsibilities. And no matter my level, I respect my opponent and my partners. So to drive children on the bridge we've seen before, our approach has been based on combine all factors seen before, go from simple to more complicated, play before all to get pleasure at once, and help trainers to be on the right way. So we've built 7 different playing levels, 1 color per level, from 1-to-1 to 2 versus 2. And we have some video, so let's have a look. Okay, that's the first, yes. So you can stop it. So we've built 7 different levels from 1-to-1 to 2 against 2, from complicated to a bit difficult. So the first level is to catch and throw and to move. This first level, so the white level, is for the very beginners. So they only need to catch, throw, and move. For us, the more important is how they move. So we've put some cones behind the court, on the right, on the left, or under the net. And each time they throw to their partner, they have to change direction, right? The second one, I will try to do it alone. So, c'est toi qui partages, François, là?
Oui.
Ok. On the orange level, it's quite the same. You catch, throw, but there is a difference on catching the ball. You have to get it, to bounce it, and to throw back. And when you don't have the ball, you have to move. right. Same principle. You have a certain way to catch a ball and to throw back, and certain way to move after playing the ball. So we are going from catch and throw to send back as a certain way. Next one, François. So we are now 2 players. One circle near the net. And when the ball is on the other side, they have to cross behind. Right, the second contact is blocked. Well, I'm not very strong. All right. So it's that in that level, it's that green level. You can see that the first player is playing the ball just like on the level before. And after, second contact is blocked and throw back, and then after the players are crossing behind. Red level, also? No, purple. This one is very strange. So you need to put a circle where the ball is bouncing, and then you go through the circle and pass it to the partner. Okay, François? Well, this level is a bit different, but we want it for the children to understand where I need to be to play the ball. So we said, let the ball going down and go behind the ball. And you have to move with your partner. So the partner must put down the circle where the ball is bouncing, and you need to move with it and stay behind him. Right? Red, red, red. Right, level red is quite normal volleyball. Okay, and the gold, yellow. So golden level is 2 against 2. It's normal volleyball, okay? Ok, c'est bon François. Alors, go back to my... Let's see, this one, good one. So 7th level for playing. And all right, the one tournament, the children were playing one tournament every 3 or 4 weeks on Sundays. We've had 2 halls, 12 courts, and all the players of the region between 6 and 11, all trainers, all staff, parents, grandmother, grandfather, sister, brother, many people in all. And players were divided by colors level and in groups of 6 players. Each group has its own competition sheets. Players are managing alone sequences of matches, referring entry of results on the sheet, ranking. And we've got only one trainer and no parent to help and explain on groups. On Sunday, there were 2 rounds of matches and all players with their card. Only the winners of the group was changing color. So the way of playing on the second round. Matches 3 minutes. So we get 1 time master, 1 coach in each hall with a whistle. And time 0 is whistle. 3 minutes after he whistles. All children getting results, changing player on the court, etc. So everybody starts and ends in the same time. So all players and coaches know the rules to play. When you play white, it's certain rule. You must catch, you must throw, you must move. If you don't move, if you don't go around your cone, you lost the point, for example. So everybody knows this. And everybody knows that if you throw the ball in the net, it's also fault. So you have rules for the color and you have the rules of volleyball. Size of court 4.5 meters, and the high net 243. On the first meeting of the season, so around October, and second time on January, children had training session with us and some trainers of club, and the other trainers were with me for an information session or workshop. And we were changing trainers during the coffee break. On each meeting, 1 club, different all time, in charge of putting post, nets, tapes on floor, snacking point for all the day, and final break for children. The organization. So on each meeting, children were registered before the meeting. The small groups were formed just before beginning. So we've got an office with 2 or 3 persons to get results into notebook, register changing levels, to prepare the second round, to add color stickers and cards. And children are called one by one for each level and small groups. The first child called take a band, a ball, and a whistle. And before the second round, we were announcing results and colors changing. And then we go back again to the second round. So children have 6 to 8 meetings per season, and a final meeting, the Spring Cup, we've called this, at the end of the year. And there were rewards for the year, general rankings for the year, and this day, one tournament where children were choosing their playing level. So what did we win? One important thing is that a player only play against another one with the same level, except when it changed color. So we are not taking care of age or category. So we put several rankings, individual by colors, individual by colors and club, a ranking for the club, a ranking for the club related to numbers of players and colors, and so on. And to valorize all players, whatever their level, to valorize coaches and clubs, everybody could find something positive, the small and the big club related to the different ranking. And we count only the wins. So defeat doesn't matter, doesn't appear anywhere. When one white player wins, he gives 1 point to his club, as well as a golden player. And when you play 2 against 2, the ranking is still individual. It's not required to be on each meeting, and the color is kept from the end of the season to the following. So we win other things. Children wanted to change color as fast as possible. So it was a race to get the stickers on the card. And after this, we've gave them some wristband of color. And what I lost something. And what we were used to tell to the coach, if you don't know what to do in your club, just follow that way. Warm up, motricity abilities, basic exercises, and we gave them some sample during information. And play, let's play, important for the player. And what we noticed through that experience, motor skills improvement for all children, technical development. On the first meeting, we had 45 children, on the second, 75, and all the year after, more than 100 children on each meeting. And the experiences still exist now, and has been repeated many times in France. So through these different levels of playing, we've got also a common scale with coaches. When we are talking about young players, you can say, yes, he's pink yellow, he's golden yellow, so everybody knows what the player could do. And what is unforgettable with this, it smiles on children's face, a great pleasure to play, motivation, a willingness to improve for players, and some other sports were coming to see what was happening in volleyball. So what I could say, someone had said, yes, yes, we can. I just could answer, yes, we've done. We've tried and we've done. And now we are playing the game. And thank you for your attention.
Let's see if our participants have questions. And I see here a question in the chat box from Eitana.
Eitana, yes, I see.
Eitana is asking if the net height should be lower for age groups in order to encourage them to, to practice volleyball at their level.
I'll try to answer.
Why do you use, for example, in your videos, we see that you are using a net at a normal 2 meters 43, and why are you using the net so high? And is there a reason for this?
At the beginning of the experience, it was in 2003, we've put nets very high all time. In order to give time for the players to move when they don't have the ball. So if the net is high, they are obliged to throw very high, so that the time of trajectory is longer. So they've got a little more time to move, to go around cones and go back. And further, on the green level, on the red level, purple level, and golden, we have get nets lower after to improve the way of attacking the opponent. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have another question that participants sent to me privately. Actually, what do you do if a kid in a tournament moves up to a level color too early and he reaches a level which is not corresponding to his motor skills? Do you take him back to a lower group, but it can discourage him, you know?
We are thinking that if a player wins his match in his small group, he has the abilities to go up. So that's why only the winner of a group can change his color. So there is no changing colors without good abilities. It's a way of to measure the progress. It's a competition. It's the only one way.
I see, Nicolas, that there is a question from Nicolas from Cyprus in the chat box now. Do you believe that until the age of 14, there must not be championship type tournaments? He says, I mean, teams should play against each other, of course, but maybe without keeping score timetables and ending up presenting one team as first and the other team as second, and you know.
Okay, our experience is based only on 6 to 11 players. And we think that they must know how to play. They must know how to referee. They must know how to lead the match sheet, etc. After this experience is only a small trip in their career. They don't stay playing, catching, throwing, moving. It's only a small time. It's for because some players were coming from 6 and they stay all along the experience, someone begin at the age of 9 and they do only 1 or 2 years. Okay.
Okay, Nicolas. Another question from Emilia. Sorry.
One moment. On this experiment, we also accepted new players, but older players. When there were 12 or 13, but absolute beginners, we were putting them into the small groups.
Okay, question from Emilia from Macedonia. She's asking, what do you think is the best age for starting playing volleyball for a kid? According to you, what is the best age?
According to me, it depends on what you are meaning with playing volleyball or starting volleyball. If you think it's playing volleyball like everybody, it's an error, as I told you.
Do you mean normal volleyball with
normal volleyball?
Yes.
If you mean normal volleyball, I can't say it. You can't begin volleyball with playing normal volleyball. It's too hard for children, and it's impossible.
So for you, the method you presented today is a kind of mandatory steps in order to begin to start playing volleyball for the kids.
Yes. It's not the only one, but it's
of course
it's the one
methods.
the one I've invented. And it works.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, for sure. There is another question here in the chat box. Is it okay for all age groups to play with the same kind of balls? Or do you have, are you using different kind of balls?
No, different kind of ball.
Which balls are you using?
Kids, Mikasa kids, and
the soft balls.
Soft balls, yes. Yeah.
And then when do you change from one ball to the other one?
We're changing when they're playing 2 against 2.
Okay. I have a question for you, Nicolas, and it's quite a quick question. How long does it take for a child who is starting in the first level to reach the 7th level?
Depends. It depends on his level.
Kid.
In average, it's two seasons, 2 years.
So it can go quite fast.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
2 seasons is, for me, if they start at 6 and at 8, they can reach the 7th level is quite fast. Okay.
A question in the chat box.
Yes. What age?
Yeah, sorry, I did not see it. Do you see the question, Nicolas?
Yes. So we've chosen not to put serve on the way of playing, because when children serve, it drives us to the how you say to break the rally. So there is no serve. There is no serve, first thing, because it breaks the rallies, and they are only playing 2 hands.
So how do they start when playing? They start just throwing the ball over the net?
Just throwing the ball, or just throwing and bouncing and setting. There is no serve.
If there is no other question, I would like to thank you, Nicolas, once again for your presentation. There will be our 4th and last session next week with Christophe. So Christophe Delouse will be with us for the 2nd time. And you will see, we'll come with something completely new that he was creating. So for sure there will be again a lot of fun and new ideas to be brought to all of you, how to improve your volleyball classes and lessons. So thank you very much, everyone.
François?
Yes?
I put on chat some keywords if you want to go on YouTube and seeing other videos.
Perfect.
Here, Prim Volley or Educ Volley.
Yes.
You can see some other things.
Okay, I saw that you sent to everyone, so everyone can copy paste those keywords and make their own search in YouTube. Vuk, is there something you would like to add before we
Just
close the
to
session?
thank Nicolas for his time and the effort he put to produce the presentation. It was really interesting, and I hope it gave a different perspective to the participants.
Yes, thank you.
Participants to thank for devoting their time to get involved with us, and also hopefully they will get something interesting out of this session that they can bring back to their classes and to their volleyball trainings.
Okay.
So thank you, Nicolas. Thank
Yes.
you all the participants, and we see each other next Thursday with Christophe Delouse. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.